Today we're going to be having a look at these. A set of 40 multicoloured flower fairy lights. These are a modern set of lights from 2015, but bear with me, although they're modern, they're still interesting. So I've ended up on this set of lights because of one of our subscribers, Richard 0037. He, like myself and many other of the subscribers, have an affinity for purple bulbs, like the old purple bulbs. For example, this is a pink bulb, quite a modern one, and this is an old purple bulb. I know there's not much difference in the colour there, but there is quite a significant tonal shift. And purple bulbs were very more common back when these kind of E5 screw lights came out in the 50s, 60s and 70s. There were pink bulbs available, but they started gaining a bit more popularity and they kind of took over the purple, and sets started standardising with just having the 5 colours of yellow, red, blue, pink, green, etc. And we were chatting in the comments saying about how I mentioned I had a set of lights which was a modern set that had purple bulbs on it, and it was a set from Boots, a set of coloured lights. You can see that video up there. It's from a couple of years ago. And I knew I had another set of lights which was a modern set with purple bulbs in, and I was racking my brain and I managed to find it. Now, before we get to the lights, I'll just get the box. This came from some kind of bundle, I can't remember when, but you can clearly see on the box there is a purple bulb. You might mistake it for pink. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to have purple bulbs, but these lights are very basic, cheaply made. They go in a circle, $3.99 from 10 years ago, so I suppose reasonably priced, but because it's a circle set, I'm not too fussed. Not much else on the box. There's a big tear in it. There's a few particulars on there, but most of it's missing. But luckily, the inlay card was still available, and plus today was just an excuse to use the old modern Christmas lights intro card. Tells us what our bulbs are. They're 6 volt 0.72 watt and 6 volt 0.6 watt for the fuse bulb, but they're pretty standardized in their specs, which is good. We could probably use them in another set of lights. 13 amp plug protected by a 3 amp fuse, which is good to see. 25th of June 2015, and it's just your normal particulars. Don't twist the bulbs, they're pushing, which is funny because screw-in bulbs had not been available on the market since the very late 80s. Maybe a set or two squeezed in the 1990, 91. So we're talking 25-30 years since they were last on, and yet they're still telling people not to twist them, which is quite funny. And then gives you a description of how the bulbs are replaced and how to change the fuse and the plug, which you don't really see very often on the instruction. This is wrong. I'll explain why in a second. Made in China for Crown Crest. So these must be a drop shipper of Christmas lights. I would expect this set of lights probably would have been sold in likes of Pound Stretcher or maybe a Home Bargains type store. We have our plug card. It's got all the same particulars on it. Again, tells you what to do. Replaceable push-in bulbs. Remember to push these bulbs in. We've got an item number and a model number. And again, made in China for Crown Crest. And the reason the plug diagram is wrong on the inlay card is because this one just has an easy to remove fuse. So you just pop that open like that, and then you can just slide your fuse out. They can be a little bit fiddly. There you go. And it comes out like that. I'm not going to put a 1 amp in this because I don't think the set is a keeper, so I'm just going to leave the 3 amp in because it's factory spec. Turn that around so you can see it in the little window and put that back in there like that. I might do this as a little short for people who don't know how to do it, but at least you've got the ability to change the fuse, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to, because it's a non-replaceable plug. It's got tamper-proof bolts on it. I mean, for us, we just get a pair of snips and cut that off, but there's no need to. We can get access to the fuse. It's a very light plug. There is not much to it. It's manufactured by E-Time, whoever they are. But let's have a quick look at our lights. They're quite delicate. The bulb holders are quite small. I'm just going to go put batteries in my calipers. I still haven't done it. I'm going to do it now. If you own one of the finest sets of calipers available from Temu and you're not sure what battery it takes an AG13 button battery. I tried an AG10, but unfortunately it was just pushing down and then springing back up again, and it wasn't being held down in place because the lid is hollow. So it's an AG13. I mean, it doesn't look like it's the right battery because it's so huge and it's like very profound across the top, but the lid just slides down, holds it in place, and it works. So now we can get to faffing with them. So the bulb holder is 8.5 mil. This is an old generic push-in set with a bayonet on the top, and that's 9.5. Then we have a generic push-on set from the 80s, and they are 9.3, so they're quite narrow. Shades are, let's have a look, 10.5. Here is a spike shade from back in the day. Actually, these might actually fit these. Yeah, they do. .8 mil. Hold on. Yeah, 12.8 mil. So they've gotten quite narrow over time. These bulbs look very tiny indeed. They're very dinky. It's not a solid piece of plastic like it used to be. There's a lot of grooves and material that's been taken off over the years to make the molds be very particular and be more efficient with the plastic. These ribs are what basically space them out against the sides. But these bulbs will come in handy for a set of lights, I would say, unless we keep them complete. So that's how the construction of these lights go. I think we've got a couple of shades missing, but I'll have a look in the box they came in and see if there's anything in there. A bundle, I would say. Right, let's plug them in. And there we are. They're quite nice. They've got quite nice warm colours. The blues, although from on the camera it looks very blue, there's a fair bit of green banding, but that's a nice dark colour at the top there. So we've got blue. We've got red. The reds aren't too bad. The yellows are nice and vivid. But this set also has orange too. So they got orange and yellow, and there is a distinct colour difference between them. We've got green. That's starting to get a little bit of banding on it there. And we have a fuse bulb. And the pattern of the light refracting on the shade is quite nice. There's not so much refraction on these, it's more of a shadow, but the shade does a little something through there. You can see there, the little petals are like Fresnel lenses. So there's a little something there, not much. But let's get back to the main topic of the video. The purple bulbs. Yeah, there's a big cluster of them here. So yeah, we've got modern purple bulbs, which is really cool. These would be really handy in a set of poly lights. In fact, I have one that's waiting to have work done to it close by. There's a 90s set of poly lights, and these did come with purple shades. That one's missing a bulb, and that one's missing a bulb, so we could potentially refurbish our Noel lights with actual purple bulbs. The shades missing off this set. I'm trying to replace some shades. I'm pretty sure I had some, but we'll get back to these. I've just realised this is a set of 40. They're no good in the poly lights. They'll have to stay and wait for another solution for the missing purple bulbs. But yeah, thanks to Richard for making me use my brain and try and dig these basically forgotten lights out, because I would have just put them in the back and just left them to it in the spares pile. But they are quite a nice set of lights. It's just a shame they go in a circle. Could we make them not go in a circle? I've got plenty of stuff like this, which I don't need. I've got lots of clear sets of lights, but we've still got some cable that we could use, strip it down and make it go in a straight line. This cable on these lights is 2.4 mil, and this cable is 2.4 mil, so it's the same gauge. So yeah, they're a nice set of lights. They're quite cheerful, quite colourful, but they go in a circle. If they went in a straight line, maybe I would use them, but I don't know if I can be bothered enough. Let us know in the comments below what you think we should do with these lights. I can't salvage the purple bulbs for the lights because this is a set of 40, not a set of 20. That's where we're going to leave it today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.